At the heart of one of history's most profound maritime disasters stands a figure of unwavering duty. Captain Edward Smith of the RMS Titanic. This is the story of the man who embodied the sacred tradition of the sea. The captain goes down with his ship. Born in 1850, Edward John Smith was a seasoned mariner with over 40 years of experience. He was the White Star Line's most trusted captain, often called the millionaire's captain for his popularity with wealthy passengers. In 1912, he was given the honor of commanding the RMS Titanic on her celebrated maiden voyage from Southampton to New York City. At 62, this was to be his final voyage before a planned retirement. On the frigid night of April 14, 1912, 4 days into the journey, the unsinkable Titanic, a marvel of modern engineering, was slicing through the calm, dark waters of the North Atlantic. Despite multiple ice warnings received throughout the day, the ship maintained a high speed at 11:40 p.m. Lookouts spotted an iceberg directly in the ship's path. A collision was unavoidable. The massive iceberg scraped along the starboard side, breaching 5 of the ship's 16 watertight compartments. Captain Smith was in his quarters at the time of the impact. He rushed to the bridge, where he was briefed by First Officer William Murdoch. A rapid inspection of the damage was conducted with the ship's designer, Thomas Andrews. The assessment was grim. The damage was too severe, and the ship was taking on water far faster than the pumps could handle. Andrews famously informed the captain that the ship had, at best, about 2 hours before it would founder. The Titanic was doomed. Faced with an unimaginable crisis, Captain Smith's training and character were put to the ultimate test. He immediately ordered the wireless operators, Jack Phillips and Harold Bride, to begin sending out distress signals. The call CQD and later SOS crackled across the airwaves, a desperate plea for help in the vast, empty ocean. With chaos threatening to erupt among the 2,200 souls on board, Captain Smith remained a pillar of calm. He moved with purpose, issuing orders to his crew to uncover the lifeboats and begin the orderly evacuation of passengers. He understood that panic was an enemy as dangerous as the freezing water. His steady presence on the bridge and decks helped maintain a semblance of order, ensuring the women and children first protocol was largely followed, a maritime tradition he personally enforced. As the evacuation began, the scale of the tragedy became apparent. The Titanic carried only enough lifeboats for about half the people on board. The initial loading of the boats was slow and inefficient. Many were launched partially empty as passengers were reluctant to leave the perceived safety of the massive liner for the small, fragile lifeboats in the dark. Captain Smith was seen on the boat deck, megaphone in hand, urging passengers into the boats and directing his officers. As the ship's angle grew steeper and the deck began to slip beneath the waves, Captain Smith made his final rounds. He released his crew from their duties, telling them, "It's every man for himself." His last recorded words to his men were a simple, powerful exhortation: "Be British." Accounts of his final moments vary, but all placed him on the bridge as the Titanic plunged into the abyss. Some survivors reported seeing him in the water, still trying to help others. However, the most enduring image is of the captain standing resolutely at his post, a symbol of unwavering commitment. He made no attempt to save himself, choosing instead to stay with his vessel until the very end. At 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912, the great ship broke apart and sank. Captain Edward Smith perished along with more than 1,500 passengers and crew. His body was never recovered. In the aftermath, his actions were scrutinized. Some questioned his decision to maintain high speed in an ice field, while others praised his heroic conduct during the sinking. Ultimately, his legacy was cemented in his final, selfless act. He became a symbol of courage and ultimate responsibility, a captain who stayed with his sinking ship and its passengers, fulfilling his duty until the last possible moment.